My dad and I have always done this overnight trip once a year where we go to my grandparents' cabin and hang out. This started before I can even remember. There are photos of us there, just the two of us. Mom didn't come when she was alive, and we kept it up after she died. Last year, Dad married Sarah. Sarah has a son, Jake, who is 8 years old. I'm 15. So Dad and I had planned our trip for this year, and then Jake asked if he could come. Dad told Jake this was just for me and him, and that we could do something else another time. Sarah said it wouldn't kill us to let Jake join, and since it was father-son time, he should be there since Dad is the other father figure Jake has. So Dad said he could come and ask me to be okay with it. I told him I wasn't, and that there are other things he could join in for, but this was always our thing. Sarah said I could let my little brother join. I waited a few days, and the plans were still Jake comes. So I told my dad I wasn't going anymore, and that I didn't want Jake to intrude on that. But since I had no say, I was taking myself out of the equation. Sarah heard me say this and said I couldn't pull out, because Jake wanted time with me as badly as he wanted time with Dad. I told her I didn't want the cabin trip to include Jake, and it was never meant to include anyone else. She asked Dad if he was seriously going to let me decide to pull out almost at the last minute. He said it wouldn't be any good if he had to force me to go. The very next day, Dad decided to drop the cabin trip. Jake was upset, and Sarah was furious at me, and she said this was all my fault, and I was such a spoiled little brat. She said Jake wanted to join us and be included and seen as a part of the family, one of the boys, and I asterisked all over him. I told her Jake goes bowling with my dad once a month, that Dad helps him document bugs. He has his own things with Dad, and he joins us for other stuff. That I should be allowed one tradition that has been there for years and has always just been for me and Dad. Sarah said I was still spiteful and hurt an 8-year-old. I should also add that Dad has told me we'll do the trip just us around Halloween because he knows I was right, and it should be kept for just us. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. I'm going to answer as a divorced mom. Let's say I marry someone else who has a child. There's still going to be stuff I do with my son that's just us. Traditions, like you said. And there will be stuff I do with the stepchild to bond. And stuff all together to feel like a big, happy family. An 8-year-old isn't old enough to understand. He just hears, "Cabin, that's fun, I want to go." And you're the cool 15-year-old he wants to be around. It's the mom's responsibility to tell the 8-year-old, no, that's a thing they do alone. Mom could take Jake somewhere fun. It could be a thing where you go with your dad to the cabin, and Jake and his mom go off to make their own tradition on the same days. Then on a different occasion, and a different cabin if needed, have a boys' weekend all three of you so he gets to experience a boys' cabin. But that's totally insensitive of Sarah to not see your side of it. Honestly, how dare she call you a spoiled brat? If I were in your shoes, it would feel like the vibe of the trip had totally been ruined from having a new kid tag along. You have memories for years of the trip being a certain way. It would be changed irreparably if you changed the dynamic. I don't know if everyone would agree, but I get it. And good for you for standing up for yourself. I hope your dad tells Sarah she was out of line for what she said to you. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Sarah's anger is totally misdirected. Your dad is completely to blame for telling Jake he could come on the trip before clearing it with you first. It is not your fault at all that your dad messed up like this, and Jake's upset is mostly down to him. This is, and always has been, a trip for just you and your dad. It is not a snub or a deliberate move to exclude Jake from the family. It is a tradition that you want to continue to nurture with your father, and you're not being a spoiled little brat or spiteful for not wanting it to change. I hope your dad is fighting your corner with Sarah, not only because he needs to own up to his mistake, but also her reaction to this really sounds to me like she has it in for you. Comment 3. Sarah sounds like a razor-tongued adolescent, not a mother. Are you sure she's old enough to have an 8-year-old? Or is Jake, in fact, her little brother? OP, was your dad in earshot when she called you a spoiled little brat, spiteful, and someone who asterisks all over an 8-year-old? If not, have you told him about her comments? Because they were asterisk way over the line. Asterisk for someone who literally married a widower with a teenager 1 year ago. Anyway, not the idiot. Enjoy the October trip. In the future, make it your policy not to talk about treats or parties around people who aren't going to be invited to participate in them. And do what you can to be nice to Jake because he's a helpless pawn in all this. And he has a real piece of work for a mother. He's going to need you as a big brother in the future, for real. Now for the next story. So I've been lucky enough to be able to work at my father's company after college and make good money for my age, 27. I have been dating my current girlfriend for 4 years at this point, and have been paying for most of our shared bills like rent and amenities, solely because I make like 10 times what she makes, and it would be unfair for her to have to pay above her means because I want to live a certain lifestyle. I have never been good with saving my money, to be honest, but it's never really been a problem. However, recently my girlfriend has been nagging me about how I spend my money. I was pretty moody that day and ended up lashing out, and the argument ended with me saying she can start telling me what to do with my own money when she starts paying her fair share. Now she seems really hurt, even though I assured her that I don't really care about how much she earns and that I just misspoke in anger. Edit. Slight context. I know I was wrong for yelling at her, but I want to know your opinion on whether I was wrong about her not getting a say in my finances. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. You're the idiot. I had exactly this conversation with my now ex. I earn 90% of the household income. I paid 100% of the bills. I paid for all vacations, bought her car, everything. At some point, she started to try to tell me how to spend money, what to do to earn more, etc. I wasn't having any of it. I did end up lashing out at her, saying pretty much what you did, which I think made me an AH because she couldn't have paid her share no matter what, and that her inability to pay her share was not her fault but mine because I insisted on an expensive lifestyle, not her, and she stayed at home and occasionally worked part-time, which actually made it easier for me to earn more. Anyway, we broke up, mostly over that issue, and it took me about 6 years and having my current partner, an attorney, lay into me very hard to see what a jerk I had been before about money. Now I see it that what I earn is to be shared. However you mutually agree to share it is up to you and your partner. But at that point, that is the agreement. Comment 2. Oh, I was coming here so much for not the idiot, but WTF. So you are a golden child who is probably much overpaid because you are daddy's boy. Congrats on that achievement. Otherwise, I cannot see how you make 10 times more money than a person the same age, as long as she's not a full-time student and works 10 hours a month at minimum wage. And having a high income doesn't free you from saving up. Also, with a monthly income of $10,000, you can end up living from paycheck to paycheck if you spend unreasonable amounts. And you indeed sound like you do. It's good for your girlfriend, who probably wants to save but can't due to her income, to be reasonable with money. Just because you currently pay the lion's share doesn't mean she is not allowed an opinion if you behave stupidly. Especially if you plan a future together, which one could assume after 4 years, it will be your mutual problem once she becomes a stay-at-home mom. You're the idiot. Comment 3. How did she nag you exactly? That's a pretty nondescriptive word for a pretty important part of the story. You know you're bad with money. You admit you were in a bad mood. You avoid telling us what exactly she said. You committed to paying the majority of your monthly expenses specifically to accommodate your lifestyle. And what you do is throw "stop being poor" in her face the second she disagrees with your decisions. You're the idiot. If you think about having a future with her, you need a healthier relationship with finances. Now, for the next story. We have 4 kids together in total, ages 6, 4, 1, 1. For context, I have always been vocal about not wanting more than 2 kids. Our firstborn is a boy and secondborn is a girl, so I was happy to have one of each. I am the sole breadwinner as daycare costs would not make it worth it for her to work as well. After our second child, I told her I was done and wanted to have a vasectomy. She was against that and wanted to have a third. We fought about this for months. I didn't want to get it done against her will. Her reason for wanting another was that she always wanted a bigger family. My reason against was that I felt that she had a hard time keeping up with daily tasks with only 2 kids. I also spoke to her at length about how another child would be financially unsustainable since I have 2 jobs and am barely making ends meet, not to mention that I too am exhausted all the time. Anyway, before we could reach a conclusion, she fell pregnant. She was on the pill and, according to her, barely ever missed a day. We now have a total of 4 beautiful children that I love, but I cannot bring myself to giving her the extra help for the twins. We now are stressed and fight all the time. I sometimes want to help her with the twins, but it gets me so discouraged to see everything I warned her against come to pass. I know they are my children too, but it is not fair to get yourself into a situation when everyone is advising you against it. Then ask for help when the poop hits the fan. Now, when I come home from work, I help just as much as I used to with our first 2 children. Nothing more, nothing less. Am I the idiot for refusing to help my wife with the twins? TLDR. Wife didn't want me to get a vasectomy, and now she had twins that she needs constant help with. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. YTA. You didn't need her permission to have a vasectomy, and you didn't need her permission to use condoms, but you didn't do either, and now these kids are your responsibility. In the post, you are strongly hinting, but not saying that you believe that your wife got pregnant on purpose. Obviously, I have no idea if she did. If she did, this would be an everyone sucks here. It doesn't make you not the idiot. More to the point, if you believe she got pregnant on purpose, I don't understand why it is more important to hint this to strangers on Reddit than to talk to your own wife about it. Comment 2. ESH. Not only are you both assholes, you're both idiots. You could barely afford the 2 kids you already had, and yet one thought another kid would be swell, and the other thought that sex with a woman who refused condoms and a vasectomy would lead to no baby. You both need to grow up and get your poop together. Go and get this fricking vasectomy before you're dumb enough to make another baby with anybody. Comment 3. You're both AH. She should not have tried to pressure you into having another kid if you didn't want one. But you did have 1, 2, and now it absolutely is your responsibility to help take care of them. They are your kids whether you wanted them or not. Also, it's your body. You don't need her permission to get a vasectomy. Now, for the next story. I, 30-year-old male, am getting married to my fiancé, 30-year-old male, in a couple of months. I've told others about when the wedding is, and almost everyone had a normal reaction, except my mom. My mom has always been weird with me, almost as if she were obsessed with me. It's always weirded me out. After telling my mom, she stopped talking to me. After days of ignoring me, she finally contacted me and asked me to come over. She told me she had finally found an outfit she'd like to wear and that I should come over to discuss it over dinner. The theme of the wedding is white and blue. The guests were supposed to wear blue, and that's what I asked my mom to choose a colored outfit for. When I asked her to show me the outfit, I was shocked to see her in a long white dress. She said that the dress was perfect for the wedding, and that since there wasn't a bride, the parents should wear white. I only have my mom, and my husband doesn't have his parents, only his grandparents. I told her that despite there being no bride, it was still weird for her to wear white. She called me an a-hole, said that I was overreacting and being dramatic. I told her that she won't wear it, and that she wouldn't be allowed in the wedding if she wore white. She's now mad at me and not talking to me. This is just a short version of everything that happened. I may be overreacting, but am I in the wrong? Edit. The theme is blue and beige, and the flowers are blue and white. I apologize since I know that was confusing. I must have missed that part while rereading. Everyone is free to wear whatever color they want. It's just that my mom likes the color blue, so I recommended it. I understand how that is confusing, so I'm not going to blame anyone who was confused since I saw a few people. Thank you all for the support, though. Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your mom is in the wrong. Like, really wrong. There's no bride, sure, but now she wants to look like a bride? Like, that won't take away any attention from you and your future husband? Absolutely not. She needs to get her act together because her getting mad and then just popping back up like nothing happened. All happy to show you her outfit like she's been a fan of you getting married all along. And ta-da! It's a wedding dress. You said it yourself. Her behavior around you weirds you out. No poop. Also, just a mental picture for you. You and your mom having the son and mom dance, with her in what looks like a wedding dress, basically twirling around with you looking like she married you. Yeah, no thanks. Tell your mom to get a grip. We get it. It's a big day for a mom to give her son away. But this is not about her, should not be about her, and she just needs to get in line. Like, now. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Not cool that your mom used the fact that there won't be a bride as a reason she should be allowed to wear white. I went to a wedding recently where everyone was asked to wear white cream, and guys could wear khaki linen suits. I was annoyed at this because I'm a ginger, so I'm super pale. But the bride is a close friend, so I wore a white dress. There was one lady who wore a dress that was off-white with a bright red thick pattern on it. She stuck out like a sore thumb. My friends and I all agreed it's disrespectful to not follow the bride's wishes that everyone wear white. The mother of the groom is no exception. Comment 3. This makes me think of Schitt's Creek when Alexis, sister, wore a floor-length white dress that happened to come with a tulle headdress. David, brother, freaks out because she's the one walking him down the aisle, but people are going to think they're getting married. I think Mommy Dearest wants to live out her fantasy or something. OP gets weird vibes from her to begin with, and now this? Not the idiot. Mom can stay mad. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.